What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta. Here you with D-Boy. I'm here for you guys with another Spark with a video. This time we'll talk about Vanguard 0. So if you haven't seen the event yet, or you haven't started it yet, I think most of you guys already did, but today we will talk about the second wave of support for Spark Brothers on Vanguard 0. So the event name is Avenger from the Alps, which is an amazing event where we get the Deadly Emperor and Deadly Dan introduced. So it's an event where we have a lot of deadly cards. We'll go through the cards, but first of all I will talk a little bit about how to go into this event, which difficulty you should play, and how to get fast through the challenges. So first of all, yeah, they have some information of course about the event themselves. So if you click on the question mark, then you find this, how you do it. Like first you play the challenge, you challenge the fighters in your challenge fighter, and then you get to tickets, and with the tickets you challenge Kyo, and then you of course will be able to get the points to open the packs. So right here I will start to do with the very easy, and then do easy, normal, hard, and very hard. I will play my MLB deck because especially at low difficulties, MLB is kind of the best because it could hit them hard for the 2 crits. If you have the counter blast, you could get rid of their interceptors with the Blaster Blade skill. So actually, in my opinion, it's the best deck to play in these kind of situations. I will not go too much into the playstyle of MLB. I will be more talking about the event itself, and which cards we get, and how the deck will change from the current Spark Brother list into the new Spark Brother list. And during the video, the game will be playing, so you could watch that as well, and then listen to me talking. So first of all, if you don't know from which episode this actually is, this is from the original series, because this didn't really come up in the V series. But what happened is, after Kyo lost in the match against Toshiki Kai, he kind of was kicked out of the team with like Ran and the ALF4 team. So because of that, the Kyo started kind of a rebellion by himself. He first went to play against Toshiki Kai again. That was the last event, but he still lost. And then he was kind of, okay, I need to make my own team. I need to be stronger. I need to be better. And then he started a new team by himself, and then he dressed it as Bigfoot, so that people all around the board would be like, whoa, Bigfoot really exists. And then with that, he drew a lot of card fighters into him, let's say, to go there and play against him. And then when they knew Bigfoot is a card fighter, even more people came, and then he kind of got the practice that he wanted. And then one day, the Toshiki Kai was playing Narukami, and that, which was the gold Paladin series with the reverse and all of that. And let's say with the limit break, that was first the limit break, and then came the reverse. So with the limit break and everything, where kind of we have Aichi, who kind of lost his memories, Kai also, and then they started playing Gold Paladin and Narukami instead of Royals/Shadows and Kaiguro. So with that, Kai was also traveling all around the world to find good card fighters to play against them. And then he came across Bigfoot, and he knew right away that it was Kyo who was playing. So he said, yo, Kyo, take out your mask, I know it's you. And then Kyo did that as well, and then they played, and then Kai won, as I remember. And then Kyo came back, and then I think he also played Mega Colony for a match, and then against Leon playing Aqua Force. And then after that the series went on. But in this event, pretty much you don't really see Kyo dressed like that, but you see that in the storyline. But you see like Kyo going into the shop, and then talking with the guys, and then asking about Kai exactly the same as last time then playing against them. Which I could actually make the second video where I show you the story for people who will miss the challenge or this event. They could always check the videos and watch how the story went. I could also include the episodes where, as I said, I explained where Kai played against Kyo. So yeah. In this event, me myself, I always keep my gems so I could open them up. My luck in opening packs is really not good, so I normally keep my packs and I let Fira or Sparkles open them up for me, which is the best thing I could do. But I mostly play on the normal difficulty, which is the best for me, because opening normal difficulty, you when you challenge Kyo 10 times, you normally get between 200 and 400, which is huge range, but it's still very good because normally I get like at least 240, 250. One time I got 180, like 1 out of the 20 times or even more. I got 190, which is still alright, but most of the time you actually get 320, 350, 360, and sometimes if you're lucky you get about 380, 385, which is like almost 4 packs, which is amazing. So that's in my opinion the best difficulty to grind on or to play with. Also guys, something that you have to remember, you have to play each day at least 1 game against Kyo at very hard, because very hard doesn't cost you anything to play against. The only thing that's is difficult is that you get 1 chance each day. So pick up the deck that you want to play against him and play against him. If you lose, then you could click on retry, then you still could play 1 more time. If you click on back and then you try to play another deck, or you try to start the match again, then he will say, yo, you can't play against him anymore because you get only 1 try. So again, choose the deck that you want from the start and then play against him at the very hard. If it is the last day and you still didn't get the 3rd star, because you get 3 stars, and on the 3rd star you also get 200 packs, which is a lot. I mean 200 points, which is 2 packs, so it's not bad. And if you really couldn't get the 3 stars, try to lose, and when you lose you get a retry. But if you win and you get only the 2 stars, or you just get the win without having the 4 damage, you have 5 damage, then he counts the win and you can't play against him anymore. So that's also very important. Try to attack like with the Vanguard into a rear guard to get that last heal if you're on 5 damage. If you don't, then don't attack anymore, let him win and then you retry. That's also a very good point that you could use. So that's pretty much actually the way I do it. Is I start with playing all of these challenges, I go through them, and then at the end, when I finish everything, I have 3 stars and everything, and then I start just playing Royal Paladins. Actually, Royal Paladins, Kagero, Oracle Think Tank, those 3 I finish very hard, and then I also try normal for Royals, because I most of the time play Royals as in MLB and Spikes. Spikes is my favorite deck. If I play ranking, then I only play Spikes, and I use Royals sometimes through the storyline just to get fast through everything. Or in these kind of challenges, Royals is actually very useful, especially MLB, because he gets a crit, and as I said at the start, you could always have your grade 2s for defense and also for offense. As you can see right now on the screen, Blast Blade could just take out 1 of his Deadly deck list, and then you could just put in 2nd Blast Blade, a Blast Dark, and then you still have 1 Interceptor and take out his grade 2. And the good thing about MLB, even if your opponent has 2 Interceptors, you could take out 1 Interceptor with the Blast Blade, and then take out the Vanguard with 1 of your attacks, and then still attack into the Vanguard, even if they get a trigger and they are only 20k base, they will be at, 10, and they get a trigger, they will be at 20. But your MLB will hit the 22 by himself because you take your Blast Blade and Blast Dart. And with Kyo, it's a little bit hard because he always search out the PG to the hand because of Mega Trainer, and sometimes you don't have the Blast Dart to ride into to get rid of that Mega Trainer, but you still could finish him up the next turn as long as you keep up some attacking rear guards. Like right here, he attack into me, and then of course I have perfect guards. And also the good thing about MLB is you recycle your heals, which means that you could still heal during that last attack. So right here I have the same thing. I could just call up to grade 3s, or I could also use the skill of Lian to maybe draw into something else, but there is no need to do that because then you would lose one of your boosters and maybe you will draw into the heal, which you really don't want. I don't know how much Blast Blades I have there, but it's still not the best thing to do. Attack here gets the heal, so that's lucky for me. So now we will get the 3 stars, and this will be it for Kyo, and this is just the normal difficulty. I think no, this is the easy difficulty. So now we will get into normal. Alright. One important thing, of course, if you don't know why you can't play again, it's not because you didn't read or check the story, it's because you need 2 or 3 wins in each difficulty against Kyo. So normally I do a quick fight and I do 2 times after already winning, and then you pretty much could play the next difficulty. And if you find it very hard to win the 3 stars right away, then it's still okay because you still need those wins. So you have 3, you actually have, let's say, 3 times the opportunity to get the 3 stars, because you need 3 wins at each difficulty to level up. You don't really have to get the 3 stars right away and then you need 2 more wins. It doesn't have to be like that. So now we play against him in normal, so the only difference is if you play out very easy, that he dies at 4 damage, then he dies at 5 damage, and now he dies at 6 damage, which playing MLB doesn't really matter, again, because his PGs or his 1 PG will activate anyway, so you still have 1 turn to finish him off. And most of the time in these kind of events, they don't really have 2 PGs right away, and they also almost never miracle heal, because I don't even think they play the 4 heal. He plays Juggernaut as a crit, which is and he also plays Dudley Dan as Jelly Beans as the stand, I think, which is also strange. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the cards of this set, because again, a lot of cards are from the Dudley series. So we have Dudley Emperor and Jelly Beans as the triple R's of the set, which is very good. The strange thing about Jelly Beans is that what you want to search to your hand is normally the Dudley Dan. That's the only card you really want to search to your hand. Okay, you could also search the Dudley Phantom because it's a good booster, but also again, it's kind of strange because you don't want to boost the first attack, even if you want to get rid of it. Still, you want to keep your boosters for your second attack that you want to do, the second wave of attacks. Because how the normal sprite for the deck works is that you have the way or the ability to multi-attack by Skydiver, Dudley Dan, and Siegfried, right? So 3 options. You use your Siegfried to just plus on the field. Sometimes also call in the background, and next turn you could move them up. You use your Skydiver with your Assault Squad to do the multi-attacking, sometimes even call a second Skydiver, and then sometimes go back to a grade 2 for defense, or hit pressure and defense, or hitting a rear guard and defense. That could also work. but the only guarantee call is actually from Deadly Dan. So what you want to do is, if you want to create more attacks, you need to have rearguards who could leave an open rearguard circle behind them, and you have three. You have the Juggernaut Maximum, the Juggernaut Maximum, Braki, and Reckless Express, which is the grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3. They get all 5k, they go back to the deck. So they hit 12, 14, and 16, which are great numbers if you want to hit a Vanguard or even hit the Vanguard. So that's what you do normally, is you have a Siegfried as your Vanguard. You have on one side, let's say, a Skydiver and a Soul Squad, and then you have on the other side something that could hit and run. What you could also do is you have two cards that could hit and run, so Skydiver, Braki, or a Reckless Express, as I said. And then if they have two interceptors, that's when the deck works also very nice, because you take out one interceptor, you leave an open rearguard circle behind you, take out the second interceptor, you leave an open rearguard circle behind you, and then you attack with the Siegfried into their Vanguard, and that's when you use the skill of your Deadly Dan to call something on one of the sides. And you could call, if you have like a 7k or 6k booster, if a 6k booster, then most of the time you call the Panther, because the Panther will still hit the 16, which your opponent is in 11k, you could hit them. If you have, if you're playing as MLB, they are 12k, you have a 7k booster, then you call the Panther, then you're hitting 17. But you could also call a Braki. A Braki boosted by 7 is a 16k, which normally hit the 11k when they get into 16k if they don't get a trigger. And then on the other side, you want to be lucky and drive check a grade 3, and then the grade 3 will be called on the other side, and then you have two attacking columns, which is amazing. Especially if your opponent is at 5 damage, which means they can't get a trigger. That's when you could also call something like a Devil Summoner, because the Devil Summoner will check the top card. If it's a grade 1 or a grade 2 and you call it on the other side, that's still hit, because that column is at weakest. Let's say, yeah, it could be a 10k if you call a Deadly Dan, but most of the time it hit at least the 16 or 11 if you boosted by a Deadly Dan. You have a 7k behind it. If they are on 10k, then you could still, even with a Deadly Dan and a Soul Squad, you could still hit them. But with two Deadly Dans, you can't hit them. Maybe if you get a trigger, then you put it there, you could still hit them. And on the other side, of course, you have already called something with the Deadly Dan. So you have two attacks, you take out their interceptors, then you have the Vanguard attack, then two more attacks. And that's when the deck kind of rely on drive checking a grade 3. But with the new grade 3 that we have got, which is a Deadly Emperor, that's when things change, because now Deadly Emperor costs you also 2 Counterblast, the same thing as Dan, and he costs you a card from your hand, again the same thing as Dan, but he costs you 2 cards out of your deck. The only problem is he needs Limit Break 4. Of course, if you don't get Limit Break 4, then it doesn't do anything except getting an extra 2k or 3k whenever he's boosted. So if he's boosted by 7k, he hits 21. If he's boosted by an 8k, he hits 22, which is strange, because if you guys played Spike Brothers in the past, then Deadly Emperor was always a 10k and never an 11k, but now they made him in 11k, which is way better than the 10k Siegfried that we have had. So now what you do is you need 2 Rearguards that could do the hit and run. So you attack with both Rearguards, and let's say they have one interceptor. You attack with one Rearguard into that interceptor, then it goes back to the deck. Then you attack with the second Rearguard into their Vanguard, then it goes back to your deck. And because your Deadly Emperor gets the boosted power, then he will be able to hit even if your opponent got a trigger. Let's say they are on they are chilling on MLB and they got a trigger, so they are at 22. If your Deadly Emperor is boosted by a Wonder Boy, which is an 8k, then they will hit the 22 column, which they will hit their opponent's Vanguard. And with Deadly Emperor's skill, Counterblast 2, put 1 card from your hand into the soul, you could still call 2 interceptors, which means you could hit the Vanguards, maybe you could hit the Vanguard, depending on the triggers that you get, but also you have more defense. So that's the difference. It's kind of the same as playing against Gold Paladins nowadays. It's if they have the limit break, most of the time they have the counter blast, and most of the time they have 2 interceptor each turn. And with Spike Brothers, you could also search your PGs. So normally you have 1, 2, maybe even 3 PGs in hand. So you have a very good defensive turn. And then you could use the Deadly Emperor skill 2 times if you didn't heal, because you have 5 damage, and most of the time one of your damage you would use that, one of your counter blasts you would use that for your Mega Trainer. So again, that's the big card out of the support. From the other cards that we have got, I would say we can't really use all the Dudleys in that deck. The strangest thing is that the Jelly Beans works best, as I said, to search out the Dudley Dan, but that works in a deck which focuses more on the General Siegfried. So we will have 2 builds, a deck that focuses more on General Siegfried and a deck who focuses more on the Emperor. And looking at Spike, me myself, I normally take a little damage early because I don't want to rush. I want to rush back. I want to be rushed and rush back. So I think that Dudley Emperor is a very good addition to the deck. But I will not cut out the Siegfried. So we have 13 grade 3s to run, right? Because that's the most interesting lineup. For the grade 2 lineup, it will not change that much, because again, there are not that much better grade 2s they introduced to the deck. For the grade 1 lineup, that will change as well, because Medical Manager is very good because you will be eating up soul very fast. And you don't need the Dudley Dan anymore, so you could take out those 4Ks and then you could put more Wonder Boys and Medical Managers to the deck, and Reckless Express, because Reckless Express will also be back at 4 because it's now a very important card because it leaves an open regular circle behind it, and the Medical Manager will give you that soul. So it's between the Perfect Guard, Reckless Express, Medical Manager, and just Wonder Boy, just plain Wonder Boy. And there is another card that you could play, which is the Dudley Phantom. It's a very good card. It's a 6K if I'm not mistaken, or it's a 7K. Let me see. No, it's a 6K, but it could give 3K or 4K, something like that. So it gives the boosted unit a little bit of power, and then that unit will go back to the bottom of your deck, which could help to open a Vanguard circle. So that's a card that I'm also thinking about using because it's very good, but it's still no reason to run the Jelly Beans. So for the grade 3 lineup, you still want to run your Siegfried, and you of course want to run the Deadly Emperor. So you run the Deadly Emperor at 4 because it's the main part of the deck, and then you could run Siegfried at 3 so you have enough right targets, but that would mean that you will play only 2 or 3 Skydivers, which is okay. Although Skydiver is a very good card and give you the multi-attacking option, still most of the time you don't want to ride into it, and having more right targets is good. Also, it gives you more soul. So when you ride from let's say you chill first on Siegfried and then you go back to the Emperor, or you chill on Deadly Emperor, and if you have no more counter blast then you go back to Siegfried, it's still good because now you have one more soul to use, the same as using the Deadly Emperor. So I think for me, I will run Siegfried at 3, keep him in the deck, and also run the Deadly Emperor at 4, and keep Juggernaut as in the heal because it's important to run Juggernauts and Brackies. And that would mean that you could play 2 or 3 Skydivers, depend on the amount of Siegfrieds you want to run to the deck. That's my opinion or my take on the deck. The grade 2 lineup will not change too much. Maybe the Zacharies will be out to play something else in the deck, maybe a Dudley deckless as he could get the extra power. And for the grade 1 lineup, again, we will definitely put Express at 4, we will put the PG at 4, and I'm thinking about putting Wonder Boy back to the deck because Wonder Boy helps hitting good numbers, especially making that 22 column with your Deadly Emperor. Although I think the 21 column is also okay, so maybe Medical Manager is a better choice than the Wonder Boy, because now they made Emperor in 11k. So that's actually it for my take on how to build deck. Of course, I will do a deck profile where I show you the cards, also show you the new cards, and I will do another video to talk about the story, so you have 3 videos. And maybe I will also do a video to talk about the way that the deck works. So let's say do some matches, playing some rank fights, and hopefully we don't end up against VP farmers. And last tip for me, if you want to play one of these events, maybe an upcoming event from another clan, one thing I do is I don't play the storyline. I keep the storyline, I don't play it, because whenever you get into a higher grade, your stamina will refill. So that would mean that you will play those storyline during playing an event, so like now. And if you do so, then your stamina will be filled again, and then you will have more games to play. Also, most of your, if you want to grade up, mostly they ask you to play in character fight against an IG or a Kai or anybody else, and playing those fights will get you tickets, so that's also good. And then also keep your gems, and I also keep my stamina for like a week or 2 weeks before this event starts. I never play a character fight, I keep my stamina, and with that, like, you end up with having more stamina than you should have, because you don't play the character fights, but you still log in, so you get that 40 extra stamina, 40 extra stamina, 40 extra stamina, like 3 or 4 times each day, depending on how much you want to log in. And with that, I had like about 700 stamina or something like that going into this event, so I could play all the rank fight, or let's say I could play the whole event without even having to fill up my stamina again. And then of course each day play those character fights to get also more gems, those gems that you could use to make cards, which are very important again to play also against very hard. And that's actually kind of it for this video. We will watch the end of this game, because this is at very hard. Again, if you need help with that, you could always ask me on Facebook or comment in the comment section below on YouTube or wherever you like, depending on which social media we have this on. And one also important thing, if you're having trouble with winning these events, is playing more crits, but also taking out the starter. Like Narukami is a very good clan to play against Kyo. Spike Brothers is also very nice, because you could keep calling those Vanguard, Gold Paladins, and MLB. Like, those 4 clans are very good to play against him. As you can see right here, because his Juggernaut is sitting at a 13k, I couldn't hit him. So that's kind of a mistake from me, that I didn't boost the Blaster Blade, because I could also have kept my Lian, but I really wanted to draw into that Blaster Dark, which I didn't. And if I did draw into the Blaster Dark, that would help a lot. But again, because I did that, I didn't have the Counterblast to use for my MLB. So that's also it wasn't a smart choice for me to do, because I still don't have my Blaster Dark. So I end up with having the 5 damage, which would mean that I will never get the 3 stars except if I heal. And right here I thought, hey, maybe I could search one more Blaster Blade and put the grade 3 heal trigger back to the deck, but which I did, but then I think I still didn't drive check my heal. Let's see how this game ends. Still strange that I forgot those small details, but I still played this game like early on today. Okay, so I was thinking here, maybe I could not finish him off this turn, but what I definitely want to do is I want to draw into my Blaster Dark, so I would have a strong Vanguard next turn, but I also could keep up some interceptors on the field. So take out both of his interceptors. I got a heal trigger, so that's also very good. and I could search out my Blaster Dark. And I also didn't have any PG left in my hand, so I really needed that heal trigger. Right, so now I finally get Blaster Dark to the hand, and that would be the end of my turn. So he has one more turn, but he doesn't have a Deadly Emperor, which is too bad, because otherwise he would have definitely finished me off. But this is what I was talking about. Having two Brackies in the front row means he could attack twice into my rearguards, get rid of them, and then still could be able to attack my Vanguard with his Vanguard, then call two more attackers. Right here I needed a trigger, but I didn't get that, which his Brachy will finish me off, right? So I didn't win right away. And that's what I said, that you could play one game against him, right? And very hard. But if you lose, what you want to do is you want to hit the retry button. Not okay or back. Retry, because it doesn't cost you any stamina. You just play against Kyo again. Okay, so now we have a game. We have an okay hand. I kept the grade 2 because you could ride into it, which helps if you only get the Blaster Dark to the hand and you don't have two blasters, which means it would be harder for you to get MOB to the hand. But let's wait and see, because we went second, so we have more cards to draw. Of course, this Vanguard sitting at 9k. I have 3 copies of Lien, so that's good, because it does help you to filter through the deck. So let's see what we will get. So the first, I did use the skill of Genslot to get the Blast Blade to the hand. I know a lot of people don't do it right away, but I really wanted that right target, because I want to search the MOB. I still draw again into the Genslot, but we don't have to use him again. So right here you could call up the second Lien, discard your 10k to draw even more, but you don't know what you will draw. Sometimes you also draw into something that you don't want to draw into. You draw into a Blaster Blade, which you already have to. You draw into another heal, which you also don't want to. So I kept it like that because I had faith in drawing into my MOB and Blaster Dark. Now we will see. Another heal. That's sad because it doesn't work. And now it's back to us. We drew the MOB, so this is very good because we ride into the Blaster Blade, and the Blaster Blade with Wingle Brave will search us the Blaster Dark, which is what we need. And we still have the 17k on the side to attack with. Now, I didn't want to put back my heal, because if I do so, there is more chance for me to heal, which I didn't want to heal because I want to use the Counter Blast. That's also something you have to keep in mind playing MOB. Alright, so now we still have to attack with a 17, and we have a Blaster Dark, a MOB, and we could search out the Blaster Blade, so we're good to go. We even have one booster if needed, and one PG on hand. He rides into the Juggernaut yet again, which kind of strange. It's like Morikawa all over again. And he called the Devil Summoner. The Devil Summoner gave him a Brachy. That's definitely a very good call. Devil Summoner is still a very good card to run, especially calling him with cards like Dudley Dan or even the Dudley Emperor could give you just another card on the field, and that will... It's always good to have that. Okay, my Vanguard is 24 right here, but he could still hit me because he is 28. So I'm at 4 damage just like that. That's the thing about Spike Brothers. He plays stands, but I would do it differently, of course. I don't think that people playing stands in Spike Brothers is a good thing. And for the trigger lineup, we didn't talk about that for the Spike Brother deck. I still think that the D9 draws is the best thing to do, because pretty much what you want to do is you want to be able to have enough cards in your hand. First of all, enough PGs. Second of all, enough cards because you lose cards from your hand to the soul. And third of all, you could keep the pressure up on your opponent, which is very important. Alright, so we call our Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark in the back row. The shiny Blaster Blade. And right here, I took a gamble. If he gets a trigger, then I need a trigger. If not, then it's okay. So Blaster Blade, Blaster Dart go to the soul, and we know he has one perfect guard. So we know about that, but we still made this attack and pattern, which most people would say, hey D-Boy, why don't you attack first with the MLB? Because the BG will activate anyway, and then you attack with the regular. You could also do that, that's the better play, but hey, I wanted to do it this way. So. Okay, so of course he has enough cards to call. He take out my interceptors, and then attacks with the Juggernaut into my MLB. And right here, we hope to God he gets a crit, but he didn't. And with that, the perfect guard in our hand will not activate, which means we will sit on 5 damage. And of course, we also ran out of Blaster Blades. No, we still have a Blaster Blade. Okay, nice. So one more Blaster Blades, and we could also use skill to get rid of that Interceptor. We could call in a booster behind the MLB, especially because the MLB will not hit. And I just called the Leon right there. It doesn't do anything because even if we get a trigger, it will be 12k, which doesn't even hit the Juggernaut. This is a 19k. We have the 5k. We give it that to the Blaster Blade because that's the only column that could hit anything. And that should be it for him. For Kyo, we get the 2 stars. We didn't get the 3 stars, but again, during the other days we could try again, and hopefully we got the 3 stars. If not, again, keep on losing the last or one of the few last days. Like, try to keep on losing as long as you don't as you don't win. You could still click on retry. All right. So now what we could do is we could open our first 10 packs. Again, normally I don't open the packs myself because again, I'm very bad at pulling good stuff out of the packs. So I let Vera open the packs for me just like last time. But this time I will also see Sparkles in a few days. So he could also open the packs for me because Sparkles has an amazing luck with opening packs. Like, sometimes he just open one random pack and there will be 2 triple R's in there, and I'll be like, dude, I opened 10 packs and I sometimes get 1 triple R and most of the time I get nothing. But from our first 10 packs, it's getting purple, and from our first pack we got the first card, which is the Dudley or the Jelly Beans. So that's very good. Made a screenshot right away, send it to my friends, like, yo, I got the Jelly Beans. which is actually very good for me because normally I get nothing. And we also got 2 Dudley Daisies right there, and just going fast through the packs, another Dudley Daisy, so that's 3 already. And yeah, again, for the grade 2s in this set, most of them cost a lot of soul. The Field Driller is also an interesting choice that they have still reprinted that. I would say maybe it's a little bit late. We also have the grade 1 Cheerleader. So that's actually it. We have 3 Dudley Daisy, 1 Jelly Beans, and we have a bunch of other commons, of course. That's it for this video. I'd like to thank you all guys for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video as well, where I will go through the story lineup, and I will also do a deck profile, and I will do a few matches for you guys. So again, as you see, I just normally play on normal, go back and open all of these achievements and have them. It's fun. So 3 more videos for you guys to go, which you will see in the few upcoming days. Again, guys, thank you for watching. You have been an amazing audience as always. If you're new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like our videos, and let us know in the comment section below which is your favorite event out of all of these. Some people like the events where you get stuff for your room, and some people like the events, the clan events. Again, thanks for watching. Till next time.